Hi, Dave Lapham here. Have you heard about In the Trenches with Dave Lapham, presented by First Star Logistics? Catch new episodes from the world of sports and broadcasting. Search for In the Trenches with Dave Lapham on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. Welcome once again, In the Trenches with Dave Lapham, brought to you by First Star Logistics. We're going to do a little training camp report. Day 1, July 28th, Cincinnati Bengals at Paul Brown Stadium out on the practice fields. And it was real good to see Joe Burrow out there doing everything he was doing. I mean, Joe Burrow had a presser before the actual workout, and he's serious now. He's focused. He's turned off all of his social media. He said it's time to focus, time to get down to business.
You know, just too many distractions during camp. I don't want to have all those distractions right now. You know, I just want to focus on football, focus on being around the guys, focusing on the job at hand.
And he has worked hard. I mean, he put in time at Black Sheep with Patrick Coyne in Blue Ash. I mean, he looked rocked up, and his body has changed. His body fat is down. His muscle mass is up. His body weight hasn't changed all that much, but the composition of that body weight has changed dramatically. And he was talking about how he has changed his footwork a little bit, and instead of pivoting on his toe, he's using the entire side of his foot to get more surface to transfer his weight on, so he can torque a little bit harder and get those hips and everything into it. But it starts with the feet and ends with the arm and hand and the throwing motion. And he is putting a lot more velocity on those passes, and his teammates are definitely noticing that. But Joe Burrow said he's 100%. You know, he's been cleared to go. It still is debatable if he's going to play in the preseason. He told the mass media that he would like to. He would like to play a couple of series at least in the preseason and get over that final hurdle of getting hit and taken to the ground. But I'll tell you what, at practice today, you know, they did quite a bit with him. During the OTAs and minicamp, they didn't have him under center whatsoever. He was in the shotgun. They didn't want, you know, any linemen stepping on him accidentally. There were no backs in the backfield. It was an empty backfield. He was in shotgun formation, and everybody was free and clear of any being around him by about 5 yards. Not so today. He was under center, taking snaps from center, directing the running game. Offensive, defensive linemen were protecting and pushing the pocket on him. He did have to, you know, kind of get his vision obscured a little bit and make throws down the football field. No hits, no contact, but he was heavily involved. There's no question about it, and it's impressive to see him with these naked bootlegs. They were running the outside zone scheme that Frank Pollack is trying to employ, and they were running play action passes off it. And he was rolling, you know, doing that little stretch play to his right, and then coming back across against the grain to roll out to his left, and then opposite way as well. And he was moving pretty darn well. And he was throwing the ball very, very freely. It was great to see Joe Burrow out there competing at the high level that he's competing at. Now, they are going to do a little load management. They are going to be smart. You know, I don't think he's going to have like 3 or 4 work days in a row. This stage of training camp, they're not even in shoulder pads. They get helmets and jerseys and shorts on. By the weekend, they'll have these little foam rubber shoulder pads. They're really not much, just to protect, you know, the collarbone, the clavicle, and some of those things from, you know, slight contact. But the hitting doesn't start till Tuesday. They're going to practice today on Wednesday. They practice tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, have Sunday off. One more practice without shoulder pads Monday, and then Tuesday the rubber meets the road. That's when the pads come on. Another guy that was totally cleared for practice, Trey Hopkins.
It was a long 6 months. January came, and I mean, January 3rd got hurt, and it was a punch in the gut for sure. But I mean, I can't speak highly enough of Nick Cosgray and Joey and the team and Garrett and Todd just being with me every day out here, and especially Nick, me and Nick every day, really just grinding and having that goal in mind that I wanted to be back, and Nick letting me know it's going to be tough. We're going to push you when it's necessary, but we got to be smart about the things. We got to be smart about everything. And to be honest, I feel great. I feel great, and I can't say thank you enough to him and to all the guys in the training room and the weight room.
It's amazing that Trey Hopkins was cleared. He was hurt in the second half of the last game of the season last year in January. That's unbelievable that he's ready to go, full go. And I think, Joe Burrow is a workout partner of his in rehab. So, and he worked out a bunch over at Black Sheep with Joe Burrow as well. So, hats off once again. And, they did a tremendous job. And for him to be able to be ready to play, and again, his participation was pretty darn extensive. He was involved. Zach Taylor, during his presser, said that there's no doubt that Trey Hopkins is a starting center. So once he's proven that he's back 100%, he'll start that opener. Now, again, they may be smart with him in the preseason and not push it too hard. They may load manage him a little bit too. But, man, from what I saw today, I think he's going to make the dance. I mean, which is totally remarkable to me that these two guys did. DJ Reader also spoke to the media today.
I've never had a major injury before. Just going through surgery, sitting down that long, it's a little bit different from like an ACL or anything like that. You got to sit still for 6 weeks with a ligament tear. So that was really just the hardest part of it. Just being down, not being able to play ball, having my son not being able to chase him around at the beginning, that was really tough. So that ended up passing by pretty quick though. Had a good support staff. My mom was there, all my friends and family, so it was really good.
And he's fully cleared to go. He had that ruptured tendon in his patella. I mean, that's a significant injury, and he's back ready to roll as well. So it was good to see a lot of these guys rehab. And Nick Cosgray with the Cincinnati Bengals, who is the director of the rehabilitation for a lot of these players. I mean, every single player that has worked with Nick Cosgray after surgery with the Cincinnati Bengals during the rehabilitation process has nothing but glowing grades and remarks to give about Nick. Nick does a phenomenal job, and he combines, the grind, everyday work with some humor, with a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I mean, his recipe for success has been proven time and time again, and every single player that's worked with Nick Cosgray credits him with extending his career, which is a heck of an attribute. That's what it's all about when you're in the profession that Nick Cosgray is in. So that part of it was good to see a lot of these guys coming back from the rehab process, and other guys that stood out during the course of the practice to my eye is Ja'Marr Chase. No shock there. This kid he's special. I mean, he's explosive. He comes off the line of scrimmage. He is a guy that he's an interesting body type. 6 feet, over a couple 100 pounds, and he gets that pad. His shoulders so low. They weren't in shoulder pads today, but man, he sinks those hips, gets in and out of cuts, creates separation. Tremendous route runner, real strong hands when he's catching the football. He and Joe Burrow have a special connection. There's no question about that. Their trust level, you can tell, is sky high, and they really believe in each other. Joe Burrow knows where Ja'Marr Chase wants the football. Ja'Marr Chase knows that Joe Burrow has full confidence and belief in him, and it's a sight to behold when those two are working together. And T. Higgins, another guy that redid his body. I mean, T. Higgins with these shoulders, these big square shoulders, these broad shoulders, long arms, tremendous upper body strength. He reworked the composition of his body as well. I mean, you look at him, Zach Taylor singled him out for somebody that's really reshaped himself from his rookie year, second year, had a great rookie year, and expect him to be even better in the second year. And Tyler Boyd, those three guys at the receiver position are a snootful. But in my mind, the guy that really showed himself to me in practice was Joe Mixon. He is back from that foot injury. And, man, he loves Frank Pollack's offensive run game and the stretch play. Joe Mixon was making unbelievably quick cuts. His vision was right on point, and he would plant that upfield foot in the ground and just cut up the football field, cut it back, bounce it outside, hit it straight ahead. I mean, he made excellent decisions, and he made them quickly running the football. He was something to watch, I think, and that's going to be a good sign because he has total belief in what Frank Pollack's installing in the run game. And when you have a running back of Joe Mixon's caliber and his physical abilities, has that kind of belief and is buying what Frank Pollack is selling in the running game, it's going to be very, very interesting. And that brings me to the offensive line. Man, I had flashbacks to the Super Bowl season, watching the drills. because Jim McNally is the exact same drills that Frank Pollack's doing. We did every single day of practice in 1981, 82. And it's amazing when I watch the footwork, when I watch the hand placement, when I watch the targeting, when I watch the way he has them finishing blocks, when I watch how he has them punching and pass protection, and getting their heads and shoulders back out of the grasp, so defensive linemen can't grab them and pull them. I mean, everything that he was doing and all the drills in pre-practice, it was exactly what we did with Jim McNally in the 80s. And Jim McNally took 2 offensive lines, and as a result, 2 Cincinnati Bengal football teams in the Super Bowl 16, Super Bowl 23. And it was all every single day doing these same drills, same footwork, same hand placement. You knew in your sleep. I mean, if you made a mistake with footwork, Jim said to you, "What the heck? I've only done it 4,000 times. You can't make that mistake. That's almost impossible." Muscle memory, repetition breeds comfort level, breeds excellence performance. You don't even think about it. These guys, you rep it so much during the course of the season, and that's what I think is going to be taking place with Frank Pollack. And he works these guys, man. I mean, nobody's standing around killing grass. I can tell you that. They are working hard every single minute of the practice, and it's all productive work. It's no wasted work. And I think the players really believe in what Frank Pollack is teaching them. And, any good relationship is built on trust. And the offensive linemen are trusting him, and he's trusting these guys. And I think they're going to be a lot better. I really do. The starting guards for the Cincinnati Bengals in today's first workout was Zavier Su'a-Filo at the right guard position and Quinton Spain at the left guard position. And I think what Frank Pollack's going to do is he's going to make Jackson Carmen earn it. He's not going to ordain him as a second round draft pick. He's going to say in his mind he's got a couple of veteran players that have a lot of NFL starts between them, and he feels like these veteran guys should get the first nod. Now, if Jackson Carmen comes along, and whatever point he does come along, either sooner or later down the road, and earns that position, he'll get that position. But Frank Pollack's old school. He's not going to be ordained. Jackson Carmen's not going to be ordained as the starting right guard. He's going to have to earn it, and there's nothing wrong with that. And the process started today. So Jackson Carmen responds to that, and I think hopefully he'll respond the way everybody wants him to respond. So that was all very interesting. And then looking at the defensive side of things, I mean, Hubbard, Hendrickson, giving them tremendous effort, setting the edge in the running game, and getting after it, rushing the quarterback. Ogunjobi, unfortunately, was put on the physically unable to perform list. He had a little bit of a strained muscle, a little pull when they were doing conditioning work, but nothing serious, and he should be in the mix here pretty quickly. But that defensive line looks much improved. The thing that was real impressive to me was on the back end. A lot of the guys at the cornerback position were competing big time with the wide receivers. I mean, it was a 50-50 deal. Wide receivers would win some, corners would come back and win. There was nobody running wide open jailbreak. There was really good coverage on a snap-by-snap basis, and that is that's real encouraging. Eli Apple, Mike Hilton, that they picked up from the Pittsburgh Steelers at the slot corner. He's an excellent blitzer. Eli Apple, they got from the Giants. He showed himself good in coverage. Awuzie from the Dallas Cowboys did a good job. Vonn Bell, to nobody's surprise, did a good job. Jessie Bates, same way at the safety position. I mean, all these guys stepped up and were playing at a pretty darn high level on the back end. So it looked good. I mean, overall, you feel optimistic. Obviously, all 32 teams in the NFL are undefeated right now. Everybody's optimistic, but if they keep working against each other like they work today, they will have easier time of it on game day. As I remember, that was working against Tim Crumry during the course of the week, every practice. I'll tell you, Sunday game day was much easier than any practice during the course of the week working against Tim Crumry. I can tell you that from personal experience. So when you're practicing against good players on a snap-by-snap basis, day after day, week after week, it makes it much easier to translate performance on a very high level on game day. There's no two ways about it. So they got a lot of work to do. Obviously, it's only the beginning. It's only the very beginning. but there are a lot of positives out there. The one thing, when they did go in their team drill, 11-on-11 offense on defense, the Bengals ran that stretch play time and time again. Like I said, Joe Mixon had some big runs there. And then they would run a complementary play-action pass off it. That's what's driving me nuts in today's NFL. They'll get under center and have their running game. Then they'll go to the shotgun for play-action pass. I mean, it's ridiculous. There's no complementary football. It doesn't even look like the run. When they're play-action pass, it doesn't even look like the run that you're trying to sell for play action. I mean, linebackers, safeties, they're not fooled whatsoever. What the Bengals did, though, is they got under center, ran the stretch play, under center, ran the stretch, and then came back with naked bootlegs out of it, and it was complementary. They fed off each other. I mean, it was a good-looking system. The problem that they have is ball security. Very first snap of team 11-on-11, there was a center quarterback exchange fumble, and that happened 2 or 3 times. They had center quarterback exchange fumbles. You can't have that. And you had a couple of 3 other fumbles at the conclusion of plays as well. So ball security is a big deal. Ran about 35 snaps. You can't put the ball on the ground 5 times. They didn't throw any interceptions, but it's inexcusable to not take care of the football better than they did. But all in all, good day's work, good day's effort, and the most important thing, no injuries. That's the one thing that you hate to see is in the early stages of training camp, somebody has an injury that's going to be very significant, either season-ending or out for an extended period of time. Knock on wood, knock on everything else. Nothing like that happened today, and hopefully they'll avoid that kind of thing, that kind of serious injury through the course of training camp here. That's pretty much the summation of day one on the 28th, Wednesday, the 28th of July. So if you want to catch up with our training camp reports, follow us on Twitter and subscribe on YouTube, and you'll catch all of our training camp reports. This was number 1. We got a bunch coming your way.
At First Star Logistics, we're a very strict company that really puts the pressure on our employees. Breaks? What are those?
That's what I'm talking about, Icky. Get the body right, then the mind's right. You gotta get that body right. That's right. Yes, sir.
Become a star with a chance to earn the highest commission percentages in the industry as a freight broker agent. Check out firststarlogistics.com.